This type of car usually elicits one of two responses. The first one being, what the hell is it? And the second one invoking a deep sense of pride into one of Australia's automotive icons. I'm the Car Doc, and today I'm going to tell you the history of the Ute. Back in the early 1900s, car inventors across the globe were a life of ingenuity and innovation. Not a day would pass where a new car, a new engine or new gadget would come out to improve the lives of the wealthy, and usually the wealthy because cars were not available to everyone at this time. Ford at the time was well established in America, and in 1925 opened an offshoot in Victoria, founding Ford Australia. The first Model T was in fact produced from a makeshift production line within a converted wool storage warehouse. In 1932, a letter was received from an unnamed wife of a farmer requesting a vehicle to go to church on Sundays in, and which can carry our pigs to market on Mondays. So not much then. In response, Lou Bant, a Ford designer, took the Ford Model A chassis and placed a large tray at the back and coined the name Coupe Utility. Australians, always trying to save time by creating nicknames, consequently birthed a whole new class of car, the Ute. When Henry Ford was initially shown the new Model A, he reportedly and affectionately described it as a kangaroo chaser, but we know today that that car was an overnight success, which spawned a whole heap of new models like the 1941 Ford, the Ford Anglia and the Ford Falcon, alongside many more that they still make today. So far so good then, but the Australians weren't about to let the Americans have all the fun. Enter stage left, Holden. Holden was founded by a British migrant in 1856, where him and his German partner created parts for motorcycles. During World War I, Australia was cut off from the rest of the world due to trade restrictions, and the company started manufacturing the whole vehicle shells. These vehicle shells supplied some of the biggest car manufacturers on the planet. After a brief stint helping to produce guns during World War II, Holden was specifically funded by the Australian government to create Australia's own car. The original, less expensive 4-cylinder mid-sized sedan just didn't cut it in the rugged Australian terrain, so the V8 Ute was born, and they quickly became the workhorse in rural areas. Even though Holden Utes were quite clearly successful, it wouldn't be an Australian company if they stopped there. Holden knew they were onto a good thing, and a performance vehicle division was created. Holden Special Vehicles, also known as HSV for short, was founded in 1987, and they took the cult classic V8 Utes and they turned the wick up to 11, providing much more powerful V8 engines and big pumped up body kits. The most famous and popular HSV is called the Marloo, sharing its name with many Aboriginal dialects for thunder. This car is notably famous for breaking the record for the fastest production performance pickup, hitting a top speed of 168 miles an hour, and when you consider that this car is just short of 2 tons, there's nothing less than impressive. Sadly, Holden shut up shop last year and no new Holdens are being made in Australia, but it's safe to say that they've made their mark in cementing the Ute as an automotive icon. The Australian public realised that the V8 would not only be good at lugging your family to church and pigs to the market, but it would in the right hands be quick, thus birthing the V8 Super Ute Racing League. The V8 Super Utes were an instant hit due to the fact that they were quite aggressive on track and ran a reverse grid, where during qualifying the slowest driver actually starts at the front and the fastest starts at the back, meaning it's a bit of a mishmash of madness. The drivers were all given nicknames in the Australian way, which created a family-friendly and relatable racing series enjoyed across the country until 2017. The loud screams of the V8s were retired, but the series lives on with straight 6 turbo diesels that can pump out a whopping 340 brake horsepower. Although I can't help but feel that something was lost in losing these V8 Super Utes. As time goes on, there is an increased push towards becoming more environmentally friendly, and the space for big gas-guzzling Utes is rapidly diminishing. So what does the future hold for the Ute? Well, the only thing I can see on the current market that is a potential replacement and a future kind of cool option is the Tesla Cybertruck. Now, this is definitely a car that you would love to hate. Now, Elon Musk has promised a Ute version of the ridiculously cuboidal looking futuristic electric beast. Importantly, it will still have impressive pig carrying ability for the general public, but will also have the ability to do 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, and considering how heavy that car is, that's a terrifying prospect. Now, Ford have got an electric F-150 Raptor on the way, which will be very capable and is likely to dominate the ute market. But personally, I can't help but feel that the true spirit of the ute is in these older V8 cars. Luckily, there is a thriving used car market, and living in Australia, you see these V8 utes razzing around every day. So with its strong and steady fan base, I think this car will stay well and truly alive for many years to come. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and stay tuned for more car reviews and features coming soon. Cheers.